the unveiling of Nick's new NFL tiers. Nick, take it away.
All right, listen. Admission here. The committee a little bleary-eyed, and the committee causing some issues in my home life. Tuesday night football, not ideal for the committee. They're here in my house till 11:30 at night last night, waiting for that football game to wind down. My wife says people got to go, kids got school in the morning, but we burnt the midnight oil to deliver you the tiers entering week 14. Reveal them, please. At the bottom, the race to the bottom, a new entry. Hey there, Chargers. That's what happened when you get 45-0 to the Patriots. If tier. That tier is, their fans are like, man, if Cam just hadn't, or I'm sorry, if we had just won that game, if we go undefeated the rest of the way, you still think there's hope, but there's not. Okay, fast rising or free falling. That's the next tier. So all those teams have around the same record, but for very different reasons. For the Cardinals and the Raiders, it's because they're falling apart. For the Pats and the Giants and Washington, it's because they're surging. They're still alive, and it's headed in different directions, but they've met at the same place. Now let's zoom in on the most important teams. All about the matchup tier, meaning any of these teams, if they make the playoffs, can absolutely win a playoff game if they get the right matchup. The Bucs need to play a team with no pass rush. The Titans need to play a team that doesn't have an elite offense. The Ravens need to play a team that struggles against the run. That's what that tier is all about. They can win a playoff game if they get the right matchup. Don't get hot tier. Now we're talking about the best 8 teams in football. These are teams that are not going to have a first-round bye, but if they look good in the first round of the playoffs, they're going to cause massive fear for the 4 teams above them. Don't let the Rams get hot. Don't let Seattle and that offense get hot. Don't let Josh Allen have the first good playoff game of his life. Don't let those teams get hot. Might become a little scary. Conference championship threat. If either the Chiefs or the Steelers don't make the Super Bowl, I believe it will be because one of these 2 teams dethroned them en route to the Super Bowl. And the Steelers obviously have been moved down from #1 contenders. We have new #1 contenders. The Saints have won 9 in a row, the last 3 of which they have won without a quarterback. That's wildly impressive. And, of course, the champs stay the champs. So those are the latest tiers. The committee stayed up throughout the night to bring them to you. And because of that, I imagine, Brandon, you're going to say this is the best version yet. We can move on. It's all perfect.
Close. Very close, Nick. But I'll go back to this. I said it 2 weeks in a row. The constructs, the ideals of the traditional rankings were good. So I feel like the rankings in the past, teams saying, you know what? You win games, you're going to be high on my list. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I truly believe they should still be up there as the #1 contender.
Oh.
They lost 1 game.
Wow.
All right, so I just want to get that out there. I want to make that clear.
Yep.
Number 2, Brandon Marshall. Wiles, can I use your character on this one?
No,
you
can't use
it.
his
Probably won't work for me.
No.
All right, cool. But I want to petition the committee, Nick, to move a team up. This is a team that is playing really good ball right now, Nick. This is a team that I haven't talked highly on.
Oh,
the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
Jenna, they're 9-3. They're 9-3, Jenna. They are probably the hottest team in football right now. They're on a 4-game winning streak at the best time in the NFL season. In December, we talk about it all the time. So for that reason, I petition the committee to move them up. Number 2. Oh my goodness, what do we have here? Kevin Stefanski, Coach of the Year. This guy has changed the culture.
Wow.
This guy is totally underrated, and he's devised a game plan to utilize Baker Mayfield the right way. So number 2, Kevin Stefanski is coaching his butt off. Just like I would talk about a player, he is balling. Number 3, Myles Garrett is back. He's been gone due to COVID-19.
Nice.
This defense is trending in the right direction. And guess what? This dude can single-handedly win you a game in a playoff. So I petition the committee to move up. And the last thing, Nick, number 4, the most important thing.
Bonus.
Nick Wright's persuasion, your skills. Bro, you are finally convincing me that the Cleveland Browns are good. Jenna, take Baker Mayfield out of it. We're not talking about Baker. Me and you see eye to eye on Baker Mayfield, Jenna. I'm talking about the Cleveland Browns. Nick, from the beginning, you've been saying that this team is legit and the real deal. So for these 4 reasons, I petition the committee to move the Cleveland Browns up. Can we get this done?
Oh, don't rush into any decisions, Nick.
If the Cleveland Browns this weekend avenge one of their few losses of the year, that embarrassing trouncing in week 1 at the hands of the Baltimore Ravens, they will be moved up. We need to see them do that.
Contender?
Week 1, the Ravens crushed them. But if they get to 10-3 and they beat the Ravens, and you look at it and you're like, okay, so what are their other losses? They got annihilated by a Steelers defense that was at its absolute apex, and they lost a weird game against the Raiders in a windstorm. Then I think they would have to be moved up. So the committee doesn't want to overreact to, 2 tiers.
Well,
let's pump the brakes. Let's just see. Let's see what else happens. Let's just see what else happens. I don't know if they can be the number 1 contender, but I'll tell you this much. If the Browns win and the Steelers lose to Buffalo, then we're going to have real question about who's the second best team in the AFC. The Bills would have a case. The Steelers would say we still only have 2 losses. Yep. And the Browns, of course. So the committee respects and understands the petition, and it will be under advisement moving into this coming weekend's games. Now to the gentleman from the Northeast, Kevin Wildes.
Well, good day. Good day. I brought a holiday orb that the children brought back from the countryside in Elizabeth. Happy holidays to everyone. Look, look, look. Holiday orb, Nicholas. St. Nicholas, a happy holidays to everyone around the globe. I, Kevin Wildes, am here to petition yet again, but for the first time, that the Gigantics from New Amsterdam be moved up 1 spot for the following reasons contained. Hence,
did your voice change?
Brandon? Mr. Marshall. Reason number 1. Momentum. Look, they started 1-7. They won their last 4 games. They held Russell Wilson, Seattle, 12 points. And even their losses were close, Nick. 4 losses, total of 14 points. Reason number 2. 3rd down defense. NFL's best since week 7. 28% of the time, teams are converting on 3rd down. Reason number 3.
That's really good.
Sacks and turnovers. Kind of like a combo. Really like a 3 and 4. Best turnover differential since week 19. And only the Steelers and the Giants have recorded 2 sacks every game this year. We know they're hot. Got to believe in Joe Judge playing with the fire. Colt McCoy's out. Danny Dimes is back. And I know you've got them on the tier there. It's like, some teams are surging. Some teams won't make the playoffs. All those teams might not make the playoffs, but either the Giants or Washington have to. So I feel like the Giants deserve to be moved up for the reasons contained henceforth.
Okay, so here's the issue with that. And it's unlike your repeated cases for the Colts, this is a respectable case and one that deserves a respectable answer. It's very difficult to make the argument to move the Giants up a tier and not make the exact same argument for Washington. You can say, well, the Giants had a great win this week against Seattle. Washington had an even better win this week against Pittsburgh. Now, I understand the Giants and Washington have played twice, and the Giants won them both. But if you remember that first matchup, Washington scores a touchdown with 10 seconds left, ostensibly to tie the game, and Ron Rivera goes for 2. They don't get it. And if they get that 2-point conversion, the Giants are sitting at 4 wins and Washington sitting at 6-6, and we're really talking about them. Also, the Giants win Sunday was their first win of the season, not against a team that's in that race to the bottom. Now, they've got a tough schedule coming up. If they can just split their next 2 games, then I think they will have an argument. I think the Giants' defense, Wildes, has really looked good. What's been odd to me, if you've been watching the Giants closely, which I have, because for some reason or another, it seems like I'm betting on them or their opponent every week. The Giants' weakness right now appears to be special teams, which Joe Judge is special teams coordinator. It seems like that's something they should be able to fix. And so the Giants are, but it's a legitimate argument. We need to see a little bit more from the Giants. We need to see what Washington looks like this week to see if someone differentiates themselves, Jenna.
All right, Wildes, I'm going to say what everyone's thinking. Love the voice, more voice. But I know it gave you a sore throat, so you had to go back to your regular voice. I know that's what happened. Hey, we got some significant matchups that could impact the balance of tier power for next week. You got Vikings, Bucks, Steelers, Bills. That'll be a great one. Ravens, Browns also. What do you need to see, Nick, in these games to create some movement in the tiers?
All of a sudden, Vikings-Bucks is massive. The loser could, depending on what Arizona does, find themselves on the outside looking in of the playoff picture. Monday Night Football, Ravens-Browns, I feel like that's going to be the whole show on Tuesday. But, Brandon, I want to go to you quickly here. Steelers-Bills, I feel like this is a bit of a Sophie's choice for you. It's your Super Bowl pick from before the season, your hometown team, Pittsburgh. And then Buffalo, who you've been promoting far stronger than I have. I feel like for both of these teams, and I don't know if you've looked at the point spread, Buffalo, 2.5-point favorites over the Steelers. So Vegas believing in the Bills. And so, to me, that is the game that's going to cause the most havoc with next week's tiers, Brandon, Steelers-Bills.